What's going on, guys? Anti-hipster indie nerd here, and today we are starting yet another new series titled Album versus Album, where we take two albums with the same amount of tracks and have a track-by-track showdown. We got Damn by Kendrick Lamar. We got Graduation by Kanye West. They each got 13 songs if you don't count intros, interludes, or bonus tracks. So let's hop in.
Got royalty inside my DNA. Cocaine quarter piece, got war and peace inside my. Good morning.
Now don't get me wrong, Good Morning is an amazing intro. I love the Elton John sample, and I love how the song is pretty much an alarm for Kanye. But I do have to admit that I don't think I enjoy it as much as a typical Kanye fan does. I feel like the instrumental during the hook is too different than the one playing during the verses. Like, it almost sounds too dark to be on the uplifting piece of work that Graduation is, but with that said, I really do like the dreamy aspect of it. DNA, on the other hand, is one of my favorite Kendrick songs of all time. It's overplayed as hell, but it's never lost any of its power because of that, and it is essential to the concept of the album. I know Blood's not technically on the list, but it can pretty much be considered the intro to DNA, and it makes the impact of DNA even bigger. Like, after T-Pab, we didn't know what kind of album Kendrick was gonna hit us with, and then we got the Damn album cover, which, to be honest, just isn't that great of an album cover. Obviously, now that it's had some time to settle, it's become more iconic, and I've grown to appreciate it, but at the time, it was just Damn with some Times New Roman text and Kendrick in front of a brick wall. But to have this Blood intro and have this shock of this old lady literally shooting Kendrick, and then have that Fox News snippet right after, and then have Kendrick go straight into DNA, it's just incredible. Like, the way Blood transitions into DNA just feels like a huge FU to everyone that ever doubted Kendrick or his mission. It's a song that has him at his hungriest, has some of his best flows, one of his best beats. It's an amazing song. I'm picking DNA.
Yes, I did. So I packed it up and brought it back to the crib.
Both of these tracks are kind of middle of the road for me. They're not bad, but the highs on both albums are a lot better. But with that said, I think I much prefer the Triumph on Champion, and lyrically it's one of the better songs on Graduation. I really like the Lauryn Hill line. Ya is fine. I used to hate it, to be honest, but it's solid now. I just feel like I have to give this to Champion because I feel like Ya would have been better as an interlude than an actual song.
To die for this shit. I done cried for this shit. Might take a life for this shit. Put the Bible down and go. That don't kill me. Can only make us stronger.
Alright, this is definitely the hardest matchup so far. Element is similar to DNA, but with a more skeletal beat, but that actually favors Kendrick since you can hear how hard he's getting with his lyrics and flows. And the hook is really fun. You get melodic Kendrick on here, which is something you don't see often, so it's super fun and Element. On top of that, I really like the ad-libs in this song. The whole Kung Fu Kenny thing throughout Damn was really fun. But I just can't quite give this matchup to Element when Stronger has one of the best sample flips I've ever heard. I can see an argument for Stronger being kind of corny and because it's been so overplayed since it came out, but it still has that staying power, like you still hear it all the time. Because of that, I will admit, I feel like it's grown off of me a little bit, but I remember hearing this song as a kid and being blown away by it, so I've got to pick Stronger here.
I feel like a chip on my shoulders. I feel like I'm losing my focus. I feel like I'm losing my patience.
Somehow, this matchup might be even harder than the last one. I Wonder is so beautiful and inspirational, and it also feels like it's coming from a really genuine place from Kanye. It also fits so perfectly into Graduation's sound and concept, so it's really hard to choose against it. Feel, though, up to this point in Kendrick's career was probably his most personal song. I felt so much empathy and sadness for him the first time I heard it. After getting Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, though, we've gone even deeper into Kendrick's psyche, and this kind of just feels like a footnote in Kendrick's career. If it came out before Mr. Morale, I might have a different take on it, but I'm gonna choose I Wonder for this matchup. feel like a lot of people hated Loyalty when it came out since it was very obviously meant to be one of the commercial hits from Damn, but to be honest, it's grown on me quite a bit. The chipmunk reverse beat thing going on is pretty cool, but Rihanna is definitely the star of the show here. We get a sound from her that we don't hear that often with her rapping. She sounds perfect on the track. I love her feature, but I would be fooling myself if I didn't pick Good Life. The T-Pain feature just makes me so happy. The song always puts me in a good mood. I love the vocal chop, and the I'ma get on this TV mama line will always be classic.
Dream I could buy my way to heaven. When I awoke, I spent that on in another life, I surely was there.
Alright, I'm about to come in with the first hot take of the video. Pride's better. Pride is just better. I'm sorry. I feel like it's a more unique and interesting sound. Kendrick's got this weird vocal pitch thing going on over these beautiful watery Steve Lacy guitars. Him and Anna Wise both sound amazing over it. I love how dreamy and ethereal it is. For me, it's top 3 from Damn. Can't Tell Me Nothing is an amazing song. Don't get me wrong. I love the beat. I think it's one of Kanye's best beats, and I think Kanye's dropping some great one-liners on the song, but let's be real here. The theme of the song has aged horribly for Kanye. I've got nothing else to say. Pride's gonna win this one for me.
And here's another hit, Baby Bonds. Hey, I remember syrup sandwiches and crime allowances, Vanessa nigga.
Barry Bonds to me is one of the most boring songs in Kanye's catalog. The Lil Wayne feature's fine, but it does nothing for me. Humble's probably somewhere in the middle for Kendrick's discog, but I still like the song a lot. It hasn't aged incredibly well, but it's got a banger for a beat, and Kendrick's flows are pretty good, so easy matchup here.
Go through too much bullshit just to mess with these drunk. I need some water. Something came over me.
Speaking of easy matchups, this is the easiest matchup of the bracket. Drunken Hot Girls is universally known as one of Kanye's worst, if not his worst song. Plus, it's just like really distasteful. Lust is a great song conceptually. It's so dark and eerie. I love the heartbeat sounding drum in the background, and the way Kendrick tells these stories about vices people have and the dangers they bring is masterful.
Believe in shooting stars, but she believe in shoes and cars. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you.
Love was another one of those songs I didn't really like when it came out. I pretty much hated it, to be honest. I think it's pretty good now and nice for a Kendrick song. I do feel like Sakari's vocals are a little too clean at times. Like, this is another song that was so obviously meant to be a commercial success. Despite that though, I do like Sakari's voice, but the song itself is nothing incredible. Flashing Lights, on the other hand, is probably one of my favorite songs, like, ever. Those strings in it are amazing and shouldn't work so well with those dancey synths, but it just does work to a charm. On top of that, I really like Kanye's storytelling, and it's another song from Graduation that has a lot of good one-liners.
Here we go again. Common passed on this beat, I made it to a jam. Now everything. Yesterday I got a call like from my dog like 101. Said they killed his only son because of insufficient.
Alright, now we're getting back into some harder matchups. Everything I Am has some of the most beautiful keys ever and is probably one of the happiest Kanye songs in his catalog. I love the DJ Premier scratches on top of it, and Kanye's lyrics are coming from a very personal place. It's one of the best on Graduation, but XXX is on another level. For me, it's the best song on Damn. I love when Kendrick gets in his political bag. The U2 intro and bridge is so good. The transition into the first beat is super dark, but the second beat is where the song really hits its stride. The car engine sample plus the police sirens in the background sound perfect, especially in the concept of the song, and this is one of Kendrick's best flows. It's one of those verses that you think is gonna end, but then he just keeps going in and in and in. Then it transitions back into this sad melodic bridge from U2 that Kendrick follows up with a verse that is just straight up depressing but also extremely thought-provoking. So without more being said, I'm picking XXX.
My shoes, my coat, Louis Vuitton shine sticks. With Donatella Versace, that's Louis Vuitton, bitch. 27, my biggest fear was losing it all. Scared to spend money, had me sleep.
It was so hard to pick this one, man. I love both of these songs. Glory has one of my favorite Chipmunk Soul vocal chops, and it's just so fun and uplifting. It's a track that will probably always be in my rotation, and is definitely one of those classic Kanye songs. But Fear is just another level of storytelling. It was so interesting to see Kendrick delve into his life at 7, 17, and 27, especially because when you think about it, that's pretty much like you've lived so many years at that point that it's almost like delving into the story of three different people. I love how much wisdom you can see Kendrick gain by the time he gets to the last verse. I probably prefer the production on the Glory, but I'm not going to choose against the amazing storytelling and introspection on Fear.
Ever since a young man, all I wanna be was a gun.
This is also a very easy matchup. God is pretty much universally considered the worst on Damn, and I agree. Kendrick's singing just sounds kind of awkward, and I feel this easily could have been left off the album. It doesn't change the concept of the album at all. I expected a lot more from a song called God, especially with the Ain't Nobody Praying For Me theme going on throughout the record. I don't think it's bad, but it's just really, really underwhelming. But Homecoming's incredible. Homecoming is Kanye's ode to Chicago, and I love how the song is written. The metaphor of something being a girl you're in love with can get really tired, but cliches like that aren't always a bad thing, and I feel like Homecoming is a great example of that. There's enough passion in Kanye's flow, and the epic beat just make the song awesome. I feel like it also really works since Chicago to Kanye really is like another family member. Give me Homecoming.
Big brother was Big's brother. Used to be Dame and Big's brother. Well respected, calm and collected. Laughing and joking made life easier.
Alright, last matchup. This is actually a harder matchup than it might look like. Big Brother is a great song, like a really great song that I feel doesn't get enough attention. I love the sort of indie rock type beat and how much nostalgia that brings to the table. It also gives the perfect feel of how an album closer should sound. The story of Kanye developing his career alongside No ID and Jay-Z is really, really cool to hear, and I wish Kanye made more songs like this. It really shows off how competitive Kanye is while still showing how much respect he has for Jay-Z. Duckworth is just crazy though. It's one of the most personal Kendrick songs. He's rapping with a crazy intensity the whole time. All the beat switches are super great, and it's just 4 minutes of incredible storytelling and rapping. Plus, the way it ends and wraps up the entire album and does like a huge circle is just mwah, chef's kiss. I love how Damn ends and begins, and it's the only reason that collector's edition album that has the album backward makes sense. So, after all that, Damn wins by 1 track. Didn't do it intentionally, didn't know it was going to be that close, but it makes sense. I feel like both these albums are pretty on par with each other. With all that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Gonna do more of these. Let me know what albums have the same amount of songs that you think would make good matchups, but thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. See you later.